So there we go. There we go. Now we're back. That took a little while. I don't understand what exactly happened. Or my YouTube decided to just go crazy in chat. That's why. I think I clicked something I should have clicked. Give me an idea. I'm gonna look something up right quick on the Pinterest. Pepsi or Coca-Cola? I'm not really a dark soda fan at all. If I had to pick one, it'd be Pepsi, simply because they have Sprite. If I'm gonna drink a soda, it's gonna be something like that. We do add some red. Do like a mangrove or another good red. That's what I'm looking for. Another be kind of a pain. Another wart would be less of a pain. This would be a pain, but let's see how good this looks. I'm thinking acacia while you're thinking logs. Radius down to 2. Aha! Don't do that. That's polished deep slate, so see, I always see these billions, kind of like what Dino was doing with the coloring on his, or like what you see with Snarple, where it's like a lot of different colors and they look great, and I'm just not quite there yet. I don't think this is like I'm seeing like a lot of the darker colors being in the corners, but I'm not quite sure this is it. Very good. Well, thank you, but it's not quite there. Like I'm not. Like I think I'm figuring out. Like at least with the tools, I'm figuring out like the gradient tool and stuff. This right here, we'll keep it a little smaller. Okay, what if we select this, go back to our gradient painter. Swap this out for basalt. Select this, gradient painter. Gradient. Polish deep slate. It might be that this is too bright of a red. What if we change all this to something a little... Hey, Calvin. Well, thank you so much. I cannot take credit for all of it. I'm just, hold on. I'm looking for a... Maybe something like that. Oh, I think that's better. I think making it more muted really helped. Thank you for so much for lurking. I can't take the full credit. So my fellow server mate, my friend Allie, she made this awesome looking tower in her base, and I was like, ooh, we could use that. And we expanded it, blew it up in size, and then we fixed it because this is on made on even numbers. So we made it on the thirds, got it even bigger, and we're using that as the basis for this. I think the muted color, the crimson, really helped there. I'm trying to figure out that kind of coloring that you see. Dino's really good at it. You're great at it, and like Snarple is the champion at it. Probably made it. They're the ones who made it like super popular, and I'm really trying. But like, yeah. So we did change the shape a bit. So like, we did it over there. You can see back here where it's just like it was just flat, and when we shoved the tentacle in it, I was like, oh, you know, it'd be great. And we ended up making this a bit more rounded, and I think it really worked out. These little sigil things, that was an idea from Dino, and I'm just kind of playing around with color, just trying to figure out what works. And I changed the shape of this to more of like this octopus-looking tentacle coming out. And what we're going to do is once this is done, it's going to get copy-pasted 3 more times to make the tower. And I'm going to build 4 of these that goes around the big ball. This is all for our mini game. And I have to have this done by Saturday. But this is my first time really playing with this kind of coloring where it's like really against the normal gradient. So I'm not sure what I'm doing. I'm having fun trying. I think the crimson really helped. Maybe if I swap. So let's see. If I go back down to gradient. And let's make you crimson. And then we swap the two. And I'm not going to do the strip. I'm just going to do the law. I have to be mindful because I'm making this in, what you call it. It's a tough color scheme. Sorry, Quackbot got you on that one. It is, though. And I got to be very careful because I want to not destroy the stuff that's in front of it. Back to the gradient painter. So in the corner, and then I drag this up. Try to replicate it in past. Yeah, and I have Dino's up. It looks so good. I have Snarple up on another monitor as well, and it's tough. A lot of it's because it comes straight from here, and I'm trying to figure that out on the gradient painter. Because it still wants to always do vertical. It doesn't want to do it from like the location that I'm clicked on. Which is kind of annoying. That's linear. So what if I do what if I do nearest? Maybe that is what I'm looking for. Not quite. No, nearest is even worse about making just a straight line. Yeah, I moved to the sphere. What if I do sphere nearest? Kind of. You know, you're gonna have to teach me your thought process on this one of these days. Unless you just do it by hand, because you might be doing this by hand. I wouldn't put it past you. Coloring. So like where you do these colors that are way against what the original palette was. And I really love the style. I'd love to learn how to make it my own. Ames is online. That isn't it. I do think one of the things is I'm too far into this pillar when I shouldn't be. Let's try this one. Go back to gradient, and I'm just going to swap this out for the basalt. They're just not changing the stuff that's happening. It's not. Interesting. The texturing you did, / coloring on your tower, was done by hand. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I think I'm going to try that myself. Let's see. Get rid of you. We did. Not you. Never you. Crimson Log. Might work out with Cherry. It looks also like you're not using a lot of different varieties in colors. I know as far as other muted colors, the terracottas are really, really good about that. And it looks like muted colors, like something that's not super duper bright, works really well. We can get terracottas. Boy, howdy, can I get terracottas. That's definitely the darker one, though. Palette you used is in the Discord? Okay, so yeah, I saw the end block, the wider blocks. So is the secret in just a very, very subtle use of the palette, like very, or not of the palette, but of the gradient? Because I do see that you're largely in the corners, which helps. And then it looks like there's you leave space, almost like a noise painter type deal. You leave space, and that's where you use the much brighter stuff. And it could be that I'm not using any of the bright stuff yet, so that's maybe pulling it away. I know this is a little different than what you were using. I'm just looking. Pick spots that should be dark and just go block by block until everything merges. Okay. There. So like we can assume in the back here is dark because that's kind of what I was doing here a little bit. You can see with the tough blocks where I had all of this tough brick, and I really didn't need it all to be tough brick, so we colored it a bit with the different types of tough. Let's see. Oh, actually, before I do that, we're gonna magic select our solid because I really like the shape that we have going on here. I'm gonna go ahead and make a copy right next to it, and we'll color the copy instead. Of course I did that though. Sorry, bud, you're gonna have to get moved back a bit. That has to be a lot bigger. A lot bigger. Hmm. Is this just one of those things where you have to keep trusting the process until you're out of your mind? Yep. Okay. Okay, so I guess here's a question because right now I'm looking at these deep corners, but I'm wondering if it should be darker around this instead. Where would the light go? Or auto shade? I was kind of thinking that. Or I pick a very specific selection and I just let the auto shade do what it does. I mean, it takes almost nothing to test. So let's see. Let's see what auto shade does. Because that's by hand. I'm going to do auto shade right here. By block again. kind of worked. I don't think my block is the thing. So lasso select. That's gonna select all the walls. Yeah, that selected all the walls. Actually, I do magic select can't work. I just had to do it like this. Operations, auto shade. We're gonna do our own custom one. One, 2, 3, and 4. I don't know why it's not making that the darkest spot. You can increase the dithering. Still not making that the darkest spot. Man, it doesn't do corners very well. What if I still add in polished deep slate just to see? With world edit more than axiom? Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. And right now we're just trying auto shade to see if it works. It might honestly be what might work the best. Is just freehand draw. No. Painter? Painter. I didn't think that would work, and I'm kind of happy it does. At least to get a vague idea of where you should have lights and shadow. Yeah, the big thing was like, I guess, we could do that where we, all right. So if I'm facing right, I see what you're saying. So why not? I guess, hold on. I see what you're saying. Give me 1 second. Sprint back over here, fly down over here. One thing we can do, it might not be exactly what you were suggesting, but I'm going to do it, is first off, let's get this. I don't think I can do that. Let's get our auto shade back. Well, let's get our selection. All of it. Solid. That. Perfect. And then we're going to look at auto shade. Okay, that didn't work out as I thought I might be able to drag and drop that. I couldn't. feel like this thinks it's a little too bright. Is the bottom one supposed to be is it supposed to be smart enough to like figure out what's the brightest color? Because I feel like it's not happening. So let's see if I do it this way. Does it flip it? That's a bit better. So I don't think it does well with like blocks behind because like all of these should be darker than they are. What would it look like if we wanted just light and shadow though? I guess we could do black wool is pretty dark. I'm in the wrong one. Black wool is pretty dark. And then over here we do white wool. Gray. We'll do light gray wool and then gray wool. Literally just grayscaled shadows. So we can see exactly where our darkest shadows should be. Okay. Now, other than the fact that it's not really doing this well, because I feel like this should be pretty heavily shadowed. And if we do that with the colors, this is going to get kind of kaleidoscopic. So I'm wondering if it would work. So like looking at your picture, Dino, you did have it like, it's not dark enough. Yeah. Yeah, like having it deep in here makes sense. You can kind of see that would make sense, but I think that's the other problem. Is all of this in the back. Okay. I think it might be because it's doing the back end as one big single surface as well. So what if instead we'll just do a box select? I didn't get deep enough with it. I bet you all of this is about to turn black. And that's probably going to be what happens. We might be a little limited in what we can do here. Let's see. Yeah, again, anything that's auto shaded, it's thinking everything back here is like, it does shadow, and that's not quite what I want. Because, like, you can kind of see it anyway. Like, it does help where, like, all of this definitely should be in the light. All of this in the front is definitely the lightest part. So anything I forgot, I accidentally didn't select. I mean, that still helps. And really what I just need to do is I grab this and let me grab this. I was zoomed in at the time. Not quite there. I think I'm also focusing too much on like circles, and I really shouldn't be. Hmm. I wish my Control C and whatnot worked in here as well. Let's see. Let's see some other pictures. Because a lot of what I see with the color, I would pretty much be changing the entire palette to just color, and it's not quite what I'm going for. Like I really like the color as a highlight effect, and it's really tough. Hmm. Well, let's see what happens. We just kind of keep coloring in the darkest parts. I messed it up. Right behind the glass actually looks really good too. Nope, I want that. And then the purple terracotta to come down. I think when I started doing the lines more than these circle-y blobs, it started coming together a little bit better. So might go in and this one's tough because it's on the roof. But let's see, I can definitely fix this a bit. Let's do this. Make you the magenta. Keep looking. I don't know if that'll work, but we'll see. Resin is certainly going to be too bright, even against the acacia, or I'm not even using acacia right now. I've been using a lot of terracottas. As close as the white we've got is this cream one. It might work out though. This might work. Replace, that's what I'm missing. Might just have to get in, get this one. And the cream's working. I think this will be too noisy. Yeah. Oh. In the middle of these two. Might need to take just this one instead. Ooh, calcite maybe. Maybe, but it might be that it's too bright. How you doing, Jinx? Might be that it's too bright, so I might use what Dino was using, which was the Enderstone, and I think honestly that is the terracotta. Helps make it still look a bit aged without it being too bright. And right now, I'm mostly just coloring around. This definitely can't be the final form. I do think the blue terracotta in the back here looked really good. That I'm very happy with. I'm going to put that on this side. That's probably going to stay. Just got back from your walk? Awesome. Love health. Looking really good. Well, thank you. What if I just keep it behind all of these too? If I shade it like I would like with any like kind of block? It also should hopefully help these little like rune things that we put on pop. Okay. I shaded that right behind all the runes and everything where, you know, you would naturally, like where you would think natural shadows would be. Kind of have to ignore what's going on here, but like, you can see like that would be the brightest spot. Or, give me a second. Not that. Maybe this. Maybe this. From a distance, if we brightened them up to make it look like the runes are kind of glowing, I don't know if that would actually show up. I think keeping it darker is probably better. I think keeping that darker is probably the better call. Do that, and let's just mirror this little knot triangle thing I got going on. do is mute this and then come and just make this color. The purple behind those is working out really well. I think I don't have it dark enough up here, and I'm too focused on trying to make this symmetrical, and I don't need to be that focused on it. So let's bring this way down like this, because this is dark. That's a dark corner. Does that look a bit better? I think that's going to be a lot better. Which makes this is going to be this has to be very dark. So let's get our shape back so I can wrap my brain around what's happening here. I kind of want this almost anti-aliasing to happen. This a diagonal line. I think that's important to it because I'm seeing that a lot. Whether intentional or not, that's what I'm seeing with the reference images. And then this isn't going to get much brighter than this, so we'll do this. That's probably not going to get any brighter. For this, we can then bring this here like this, but then make this I think that's a lot smoother. I think it's a lot smoother. When I stopped trying to make up here symmetrical with down here, I think it became a lot better. And granted, the shadow here still has to do this, but now I can play with the purple terracotta here. And if I kind of replicate this corner over here, I think that works. See if I can't do the same down here. I think I need to brighten this right there. I think that should get bright again, like this. That's probably going to be... What did I press to do? Oh, I must have pressed Control-C by accident. Okay. Okay. I can do block, take this, and that's deep slate. So polish deep slate, put in actual deep slate, which makes it a lot brighter as well, and a gray wool. Think like this. It's just going to add a bit of texture to this. I'm going to just let the auto shade kind of do what it does. Hopefully it works. Didn't quite work. That's a part of it. One issue is that it wraps, so like wherever I put light. Okay, so what if we do custom positions? And we'll do a light source way out here and another light source right here. Did that make it all one block because the sun's too bright? Definitely did. Ambient inclusion. Try that again. All one block again. Annoying. Annoying. Okay, so that's not gonna work. What we can do instead, we're gonna, oh, whoops, we lost that auto shade, but whatever. What we're gonna do is we're gonna grab these blocks again. Exactly what we want. I'm gonna do a gradient painter. That's black wool. I don't need it to be that black because nothing's that dark. So we're gonna do the polished deep slate again. I'm gonna grab our deep slate. You know what? We're gonna get a little fancy with it too. So I'm, since that is deep slate, see how it's ever so slightly a different texture? We're gonna grab this. Oh, actually, I don't know if I can do that as easily. Oh well. That's fine. Deep slate, and then what did I say? Gray wool. Now they do it like that, or yeah, although I think I need to put the wool in the middle here. We have a linear, it's a sphere. We're gonna increase our radius just to make my life a little easier. A polished deep slate's kind of throwing things off right now. What do I want to replace the polished deep slate? Quite a bit of it elsewhere, but what if we do the pale moss? I'm gonna let that be like the lightest part. The ghosts kind of go with a deep slate. That's real stark on the wool. So what if we extended this? Nearest plane. I already have gray wool. Another gray block I can put in here. Ooh, just about to say the acacia log. There's like no dithering at all. I don't like that. But be linear. That's a bit better. But what if we do it this way? So the heavy colors are on the bottom. I think that acacia and the pale moss really worked out well. I don't like that the right side is weighed as heavily as that is, though. So let's see, can I fix that? Not like that. Whatever happened there. Okay, so what if we do this? Maybe we're gonna go back to solid. We're gonna grab another one of these. Oh. Duplicate. Bring you over here. Great. Move the magic select again. We're gonna select blocks. We're gonna select this, 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 and this. With the gradient tool again. I think that's looking pretty good, especially since we have so much pale moss on the roof. I think having it get up in there is good. And then we'll kind of have to play around with that a little bit, maybe. Make it more into the andesite and stone. What would I use color-wise between those two? Or let's see, pale oak. No. Andesite? So that's what the roof currently is our andesite slabs. But maybe, yeah. Should I flip those two? I think yes. I'm going to flip these two. Try this again. Look better? Yeah, I agree. I agree. Since this is naturally a little darker, and this should all kind of be in a shadow right here because of this ledge. Wait, I think that might be what we do up here as well. So we're going to grab our painter. We're going to get pale moss. And we're going to do the pale oak log. Real quick, we're also going to magic select all of this. Go back to painter, bring this way down. No, that ain't it. Maybe that. Pale oak wood. I think that came out okay. I think that came out okay. So I don't have too much pale moss sitting up here was the idea. Maybe a bit too big, but I think the cylinder is the right track. My watch is telling me to stand. Why is that? Oh, because I've been streaming for 3 hours. Cool. And with the painter, why not? I think these colors are coming out really well. It's very subtle. And then I really did like the blue terracotta over here in behind all of this. The big thing is this starts to look really messy. So I think subtle is the way to go for this build, and I will figure another build out because since I already have all of this going on in it, I'm afraid that more colors Griot's gonna have like big glass pieces. I'm afraid more colors is gonna make it look real messy. But let's at least put this behind here because I did like that a lot. I think this added a whole lot more depth to it. Yeah, especially from back here. I think that's great. And then hmm, that's way too bright. That's also a bit too stark. I just don't need a lot of this or it becomes a bit much. I've never shadowed like this before. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if chat's figured that one out, but I have no idea if what I'm doing is actually going to end up looking good, but I'm going to trust my instincts and just kind of plow through and see what happens. Did forget to do these. So my thought process here is I got the slightly darker, the purple terracotta, and kind of just trying to merge these two a bit better with the much brighter. I hope that's coming through. I don't know if that's too much of a hodgepodge of just noise. It definitely makes the andesite pop out more, but I don't know if it's a little too noisy. Really, really tough. I am really in like unknown territory here. You love it? Oh, that's good. That's a good sign. And then if I do this, no, this one. Watching while you ended up getting back-to-back calls, not a problem. Let's see, and then well, that worked out a lot better than I thought it would. The dithering right there, that worked out a lot better than I thought it would. Let's come up here. I can do that from back here actually. Like that. I think that works out a lot better. Looking fancy? Awesome. Thank you. I think doing the corner helped pull it together a little bit more, but leaving the much starker color was probably the right call. What do we got? We're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The properly learned axiom. Yeah, I mean it's helped me out tremendously. Pretty much the only reason I'm building right now. Bloop. Back. Deciding this one of those things. These are all bottom slabs, so I'm putting stairs here to hide the ugliness. Where my dogs attack each other. That's no bueno. Wife handled it though. A strong, independent woman don't need no man. This? No. Yes. That's why. Back to our shadow. I know this is the most talkative I've ever been in chat. My bad, but I'm kind of really focused in the zone. My animals are going absolutely hog wild. Oh, I think that's because my wife is playing with them. Fair enough. Bet you with that, that'll look fine, maybe. Let's see. Being able to do this from like a huge distance like this is actually really helpful. Oop. Hmm. Maybe it should be the other way around. We do it like this. That's better. That's better. What if we kind of do the same thing up here? I don't want it to be too messy, but what if we remove these? I think that worked out a lot better. I think that worked out a lot better. In here, it's looking so dark that I do think we need to add in a bit more of the bright ones. You like the pink shading? Is it because you like pink, Eunice? Purper? Oh, I had purple on my bar. Where would it sit though? Because it's a bit brighter. I guess that would be like if we had anything that we really kind of wanted to pop a bit. It added a nice color. I agree. That really pops. So I think keeping it muted has worked so far because it's such a darker build. It's this that I'm gonna have some trouble with. Maybe we texture that kind of like what we did with these where we just use a gradient, and we can just do a much darker gradient, so we can still keep this in the back. So M, we have all of our Blackstone, gradient painter. Of course, we have Blackstone, we have coal, and we have black wool. Coal's the darkest, of course, and Blackstone's. This one I actually need a noise painter, so I have a good place to grab. I messed that up. Yeah, I thought so. Okay, noise painter. What did we just say? Blackstone or coal. Black wool. And black stone. Wool is way too much. What if we did... Yeah, this might be a bit too black as well. I think black is a bit more of a brown. It's not bad. It's not bad. But let's do, instead of simplex, big question is, do we do more pops of color? And mostly it would be out here. So kind of like where the pale moss is right now. Brighten this up a lot, but I don't know. I do know I got to get a blueprint of this over to Allie, so hopefully she can work on the windows, and that would also help inform more of what we do. I can get her opinion on this. Because when you're real up close, it's kind of messy. It kind of only works way back here, which is how most are going to see it. Like, they're going to be way back here, they're going to be flying in, or they're going to be way down here and like walking up. I doubt anyone's going to walk up to this. So, and then for over here, I think we're just going to kind of use the same palettes we've been using down here on this. And then I throw this on it, and that's it. And for this is actually going to be a lot easier to color, because on the outside, we're going to do the prismarine. I'm either going to do the light prismarine on the outside, or we'll do dark prismarine on the outside, and a lighter prismarine inside. We'll probably just do that, and just throw it right on this thing. You guys saw how quickly I was able to get the path tool up to make these little tentacles, so that's super easy. I'm not doing the fangs or big mouth or anything like that, I don't think. So, yeah, I'm going to kick this over. I think I'm going to get the blueprint of this so she can see it. She can give me the yay or nay on what she likes and what she thinks about it. And then that'll also give her time to figure out underneath here, figure out the windows. And then we can take this concept and bring it down here once we got the windows down and kind of do the same. Yeah. I'm really surprised at how well that worked out. That dithering up there. I thought that was going to look real choppy, but no, it really smoothed everything out. Cool. Very cool. But with that, I've been streaming 3.5 hours. Oh, I'm sore. I need a break. I need lunch. I need food. Despite my best efforts, I have not found a way to exist without it. It's coming together. Awesome. Thank you. And it looks like my wife's just started pinging me, and it looks like we have Ames and Emerald streaming anyway. So I'm gonna go read one of them. That's what we're gonna do. So maybe good about